to Special Report. I'm your host, TruePowerIsMine. Today I just want to talk about pre-programming and this notion of the end. I'm going to go up to the story, or it's an old show. It'll be pretty obvious. Hold on. Let's get all this in the frame. There.
Truck down and get a...
Alright, it's basically about the end of the world. Hold on, here it goes.
Got a name?
Tom.
I bet it fits. I bring you a message. A message few of you will be able to believe. A message of great importance. A message I alone was able to read in the fires of the universe. But be not afraid, my friends. I also bring you the means with which to save yourselves.
Save us from what?
From the end of the world, friend. Which I don't expect you to believe. But the rest of you, those who want to be alive tomorrow morning, I will tell you tonight. Remember that. Bring your friends here. I'll tell you tonight, so that you will be able to prepare.
What are you selling, mister? Snake oil?
The world will come to a flaming end at midnight tonight. Without my help and knowledge, every one of you will be dead. Planning to remain in town for long?
Well, I understand I have until midnight.
And you've heard.
Yeah, I heard. Your name is Trump? All right, Sheriff. How long are you going to put up with this?
What do you mean?
How long are you going to let this con man walk around town?
Be careful, son. I can sue you.
How about it, Sheriff? When are you going to put the lid on?
What for?
Well, stealing is stealing, whether you do it with a gun or a mouthful of mealy words.
I don't intend to sit here and be insulted, Sheriff. If your people don't want my help, I can go elsewhere.
Wait a minute, Mr. Trump. You don't talk for the rest of us.
Since the sheriff wouldn't stop Trump, Hobie had to find somebody who would. Sheriff Chet Farrow was the gun law in Talpa, and Judge Clement was the book law. You hear about Trump?
Yes, sir. What are you going to do about him?
What do you want me to do?
Stop him
From what?
from taking the town.
Can you prove that that's what he has in mind?
Well, it's obvious.
But can you prove it? In order to arrest him, the sheriff has to have a charge. And Trump hasn't given him a thing to go on.
Well, this has got to be some
Now, doesn't that sound like the Mueller investigation for real? And this is the 50s.
way to stop him.
Well, if there is, I don't know it. It's a funny thing.
Sir?
When we were kids, we were all afraid of the dark. And we grew up, and we weren't afraid anymore, but it's funny how a big lie can make us all kids again. Hobie had checked the town. The people were ready to believe. Like sheep, they ran toward the slaughterhouse. And waiting for them was the high priest of fraud.
I am the only one.
Just me?
Well, I'm not going to bury you guys with the commercials, because I already know the game here. You know, these little commercials and all this, that, and the third. So we're just, this is the time, I guess, hopefully you can join me tomorrow, Monday. We got a great special report lined up at 4 p.m. Central Time. And let's continue with this programming in progress.
Can build a wall around your homes that nothing will penetrate.
What do we do? How do we save ourselves?
You ask, how do you build that wall? You ask, and I'm here to tell you.
You're a liar, Trump. There's not going to be any rain of fire.
Can you deny the meteorites will come? Can you deny the comet?
Well, it's not going to happen the way you say it is. Aren't you going to stay for the fireworks? Huh? like you're gonna go before everything's done.
I've done all I can for Talpa. Figure it's time for me to be moving on.
Well, I think you ought to wait.
That's where you and I disagree.
You're under arrest, Trump.
What charge?
Well, you write it any way you like. Grand theft, fraud, I think a jury will find it stealing.
Okay, so there you have it, a TV show.
Well, there you go. Like the young lady said there, TV show from the 50s. That, hold on. That's why I had it so small, I think. So it can all be in frame. Alright. Now, there is another one I wanted to check out. And it would be... Hold on, no thanks. This one. Okay, guys, this one's rough, man. This one's rough.
So is that why your nickname was General Butt Naked?
Yes, because I was naked, because I fought naked.
A lot of people would drink or do drugs before fighting?
Yeah, most of my boys,
Yeah.
then we drain the blood from the innocent child and drink it before going to battle.
So you kill the child
Yes,
and then drink the blood?
yeah.
I left it up on the chopper. I'm gonna eat it. Lieutenant General, hot.
So what kind of war is this? Gorilla?
World War III. It's World War III.
Born Liberian was elected, but the of Liberia is actually time. It's America's first and only.
All right. I just want to break this setup. Now, this guy's, he's basically talking, what they're talking about has happened years and years ago. That general guy that he was opening it up with, I believe he turned out to be a preacher or something crazy. But what happened over there was a total disintegration of society, and that's, I guess, the ultimate point.
In Africa. It started as a back to Africa movement for freed slaves. In fact, the Constitution was written in Washington, and Monrovia, the capital city of Liberia, is actually named after President Monroe, and it became a state in the 1840s. So the freed slaves go back to Africa and promptly enslave the native Africans based on the plantation method they had learned in the U.S., which lasts for about 140 years until Samuel K. Doe, the first native African-born Liberian, was elected. But this doesn't last very long. Why? Because an American-educated, and some would say American-backed, rebel leader named Charles Taylor and his buddy Prince Johnson came from America and overthrew him.
We are not a military group here. I'm not a soldier. What we seek to do is to destroy these military dictatorships around Africa. And that's that Charles Taylor virus. If the civilians can throw out the army, wow, we are in trouble. Well, I love it. We will fight to the last man. I will get weapons from wherever I have to get it. If the Pentagon's got some, please give me some.
Despite reports that the government wants talks with the rebels, the violence goes on.
The government and people of this country assure you that the armed forces will protect them and that the rebel will soon be eliminated.
Rebel forces stormed into the center of the capital today. They are now less than a mile from the executive mansion where President Samuel Doe has barricaded himself with about 500 soldiers.
In fact, Prince Johnson, who got to Doe before his buddy Charles, ended up torturing him, cutting him up, and is rumored to have eaten him while filming the whole thing. So Charles Taylor finally gets elected with a campaign slogan that reads, "He killed my ma, he killed my pa, but I'll still vote for him." And it works. He gets elected.
Hold on, we're gonna have to. This part here is just Like, hold on. I want to see what he is straight up drinking a Budweiser, smoking his cigarette, sitting back. While I guess his compatriot there, or someone he started off with, is tortured and killed. This is harsh, and this is what in the psyche of most people. When we talk about situations where there are no laws, do you really want your family to go through this? Huh? Do you really want one of your loved ones to be in this situation? This is why we have laws. This is why, so we don't have situations like this. Now look, that's the leader guy. That's the judge, that's the executioner. And do you see this on the back wall here? Do you see that? If you don't understand what's going on by now, it truly is the end.
So Charles Taylor finally gets elected with a campaign slogan that reads, "He killed my ma, he killed my pa, but I'll still vote for him." And it works. He gets elected.
I could blow some way away. What was that Donald Trump saying during the campaign up there in New York City or something? I guess this was the similarity. I was sent this video. They were like, please share this with everybody. You know, analyze it, do my thing. The TruePowerIsMine way. And this is what I draw off of this. This is a consequence. It has nothing to do with intellect. It has nothing to do with who they or what they are. It has everything, though, to do with the perception of reality and their perception of the possibility. When you have law and order, these things don't even come up in the people who submit to law and order's minds. And that's the key. That's how you really win this war, this spiritual war.
But he's so corrupt that soon after, there's a bunch of warlords fighting for control over Liberia, the country devolves into civil war, and things go from bad to severely fucked up.
I know somebody who want to kill me. If I grab you, I will kill you. Wrong.
But this is like a civil war on steroids. It's a post-apocalyptic Armageddon with child soldiers smoking heroin, cross-dressing cannibals, systematic rape. It's total hell on earth.
Now, do you really want that for your neighborhood? Did you hear that description? Hold on, let's listen to what he's describing. You know, they say, if I grab you, I will eat you raw. These are straight up people doing that. Hold on, let's hear this now, so the world would know.
I will eat you raw.
But this is like a civil war on steroids. It's a post-apocalyptic Armageddon with child soldiers smoking heroin, cross-dressing cannibals, systematic rape. It's total hell on earth.
We love the music. There's a music.
They call it the sound of death.
Yeah, but it's a sound of music to us.
Liberia.
The dude just said that's the sound of music. Like Julian Robertson's out there in her little frilly dress dancing while you have these, as he says, you know, cross-dressing cannibals, warlord kids high on heroin. You know, it's a horrible sound of music, dude. I'm sorry.
He's been in the news a lot lately because Charles Taylor is on trial at The Hague for war crimes. But we wanted to know what happened to all the other warlords. So we contacted a Canadian journalist who lives in Liberia named Miles Esty, who's kind of a Kurtz-like character, tall, skinny, skeleton guy, who's had malaria more times than he's had hot dinners. And he said he could get us access to all these ex-warlords. So we said, great. We got on a plane and we flew to Liberia.
Interesting flags. That's the east Eastern Asia Trading Company, East India Trading Company flag, which is actually, the template for our flag as well. And I mean, that's just so horrible, man. Just the devastation, dude. Just the devastation. So I just want to share that with you guys, just so you know that there's a lot of things coming up. Hopefully, I'm going to come at you guys with a brand new video maybe later on tonight. This is crazy. I will share this one. This is more for the UFO people. And people who just like weird stuff. What the hell? I don't want all this guy's stuff. I just want the information. Can't see that. Okay, well, we'll just get to the... Apparently, according to the story, less than 24 hours, military men arrived and snagged this chick's coffin up. There was this chick in this fluid, and then when she got out of the fluid, she, mummified or something. They found this up there in somewhere. I don't know why. I'm just going through this deal that I get all these different people. Oh, hold on.
Incredibly hot and sometimes too windy to fly. The vehicle itself weighs less than 254 pounds, which is important because it means the US Aviation Authority does not require a rider to have a pilot's license. Instead, Kitty Hawk puts them through a training regime that lasts just 90 minutes. First a simulator, then a real machine strapped to the ground, and then this fun ball pool with a serious purpose. This is where you practice getting out if the flyer was to crash into the water. And here we go. Oh, okay. There's not much of an interior yet, but I imagine they'll be working on that. And here's the seatbelt. Sadly, they wouldn't let me fly it myself, but I did at least have a chance to try it out for size. So I'm in, and then I have the controls here. One of them does altitude, the other one is the direction of where I'm travelling.
This is absolutely amazing. They actually have a flying thing, like a car. But I am going to say, I'm no injury attorney by no means, but this area right here, when these things are actually in motion, you put your arm out, oh my God, man, you could be Cuisinart. So I don't know how they would make some sort of, barrier and not, obstruct wind flow. But other than that, it's pretty cool. Now let's check out this other deal. See what this is about.
About 65 kilos. Goodwood's main straight is more familiar with fast cars than jetpacks screaming past the stands. But as part of the Future Lab exhibition here, this man dreams of us all taking to the skies.
This jetpack, as soon as the whole thing's off, you do want to clear all that fuel and all that baggage. It might be the JB11, it might be new, it might be extra special in the amount of power and the amount of agility that it offers David as he goes flying around this circuit. But once he's done with it, just get the thing off. Great landing, like it. Tell me a little bit about this.
So JB11, 6 engines. This is our latest version.
So JB11, so this is the 11th iteration?
This is the 11th version. So there'd been 10 before this. Flew around Statue of Liberty in JB9. That's, it's 2 years ago now. But that only had 2 engines.
So you've got a bit of redundancy. You can lose one of these thrusters and you'll still stay up.
Yeah, exactly.
And the computers, they've got to be pretty robust. Where are they on here?
So the computers, there's one computer in here. That one's the starting one, that's on the throttle. And then there is a computer system in here. That's our main computer in this distribution system. And then each of the engines has their own computer. So there's 6 computers, then master computer and then throttle computer. So a lot of computers.
How long has it taken to get to this stage with a jetpack?
Over 12 years. Yeah, I started on it 12 years ago, and it's gone quickly, but it's been a hell of a process.
And now you've got this. This is supposed to be in the sweet spot, isn't it? I'm just going to just dive in here. I don't know whether is this okay if I just sort of sit. I'm not going to take her up for a spin. No. But from this position, what am I looking at here?
So on the pilot side, you're looking at on the left engine and the right engine. So you're looking at all of the engine information on this side. Yeah. So how hot they are, how fast they're spinning, what's the battery voltage, how much fuel are you using, etc. That's this side. And when the battery's turned on, you'll see all of that information come up there. Okay.
Right. Okay.
And those LEDs are basically, if it's green, everything's good, fly. If it's orange, probably you want to start thinking about it. If it's red, definitely land.
Jetpack Aviation says the JB-11 would sell for north of $300,000 if the public could be trusted to be let loose with one, which is why it's not for sale. Although the US military...
Did you hear that? If the public was allowed to be let loose.
If the public could be trusted to be let loose with one, which is why it's not for sale, although the US military is looking into its use, as they have been with jetpacks for the last 50 years. The new design will wow crowds around the world, but it could also offer us the chance to have taster flight sessions in the near future.
You know, my idea is that young kids or 14-year-old kids, you know, my daughter included, should be able to fly one of these like on a tether system in complete safety and get a feel for the future of aviation. Because, you know, it's not big aeroplanes anymore. It's about the capacity for individuals to move around their environment, you know, to go from their house to the shops or to their house, you know, to be able to take an autonomous flying vehicle from one place to another. It will happen. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but it'll happen.
I mean, not to be ignorant, but what would be so bad about the general public having that? I mean, I don't see where it could potentially go wrong. I mean, just think about the last film in Liberia, flying around, children, warriors, or I don't think this chick could fit.
Watch what Obama will.
Hold on. Could you picture this one on one of those jetpacks?
Pretty much. I want to do my own thing. I don't want to have to worry about getting fired, because that just sucks. I've done it once.
I'm just going through here, guys. There was
I wish I could wake up and say.
Oh no. There's just been a bunch of stuff.
Ride a train in the sky.
It's actually
and visit faraway galaxies.
Stay in the middle of the magic at a Disney Resort Hotel. Easy access to the parks.
See, I'm glad this commercial came on so I can break this down. Do you see this image that Disney is trying to portray now? Just look at the window. Alright? I wish I could go back and restart this ad, but I can't. But we'll continue it, and I'll break it down as far as I can.
Enjoying extra time together in the parks.
And Chewy.
And now, create a 6-night set.
Wait, are they saying this is only $100 per person per day? That's extremely cheap.
7-day package, including a select Walt Disney World Resort hotel room and theme park tickets for as little as $99 per person per day for a family of 4.
Wow. I don't know what this is. What the hell? guess this is advanced technology. This is automation right here, guys. Do you see it? This is automation. I mean, look at how few people you really need doing stuff. You know, I mean, this guy's making what? Xena rings or whatever? Shakas. Oh shit, that's a huge bandsaw. This is machinery. We can have this stuff making hamburgers, dude. Making french fries. But then what about the people? They have to have something to do. Look at the machine. It's like magic, ain't it? It makes a hanger all by itself. Yeah, they tripping though. You never want to get a flue that hot. That flue's red hot. They are tripping. I don't know what this big ass heated O-ring, but you know, this all used to be done by hand. Now it's all done by machine. Look at that precision. That is some serious milling there. Machining. I don't know what this is. Looks like they're just scraping her clean or... Wow, that's a 50-gallon barrel. I really don't understand why it's so hard for people to get that there's going to be more time for all of this because of robotics. There just is. You ain't going to stop it. I mean, look at this situation right here. Let's pause this. Look, do you see something that's really important? And it's been the whole theme for the last 3 minutes or so. There's no people in frame. 0 people. You don't see a random guy walking around. You don't see someone sitting in a chair. You certainly don't see someone with a shovel or a pick or a hammer or anything in their hand. Machinery has been doing work for humanity for a very long time. It's time for us to evolve with our perception. Understand that universal health care, or not health care, I mean that would be awesome, but let's be real, the situation we're under now is not going to go that way, but universal income, it's just a matter of time. Just like old boy said with the jetpack, it's just a matter of time. There's such precision. Okay, now we're gonna stop because the human we do see, he's doing the old plumber routine. I'm good with that. the video we started off here with, this one, uh, we have already, Jane Elliott, was the first person, that I know was talking about the book, this book here. Hold on. No. Where's it at? I know oh, here it is. Check this out.
Entrance into alternate dimensions. Now, by Lockwood's third novel, The Last President, things become even more eerily linked to the present day. The story begins with a scene from New York City in early November, and it's described as a state of uproar after an election takes place of an enormously opposed outsider candidate. Does that sound familiar? But not only that, after the city turns into a mob and starts attacking the rich, the book actually names the Fifth Avenue Hotel. And it says the Fifth Avenue Hotel will be the first to feel the fury of the mob. And the Fifth Avenue Hotel is in the exact place where Trump Tower stands today. So New York City in this book is fearing a collapse of the Republic, all because of a corrupt and unethical election process. And Americans actually start forming a resistance and protesting against this election process. Now, you might be able to chalk that up as nothing more than coincidence, but just wait until you see all of the other examples we have of predictive programming surrounding the presidency of Donald Trump. For our next example, we have the movie Back to the Future 2, which also happened to predict a Donald Trump presidency. It was screenwriter Bob Gale who had...
Now, that's just heavy, man. After it's all said and done. What am I saying here, guys? There's a lot of information out here. Look at it for yourself. Okay? Understand. Figure it out. And as always, live your life with integrity, without hate, without envy, and without greed. This has been Special Report. I am TruePowerIsMine. Today's date is January 27th, 2019, the year of our Lord. Take care and peace. I have to wait just like 10 more seconds. This seems like it's a better slot. It's right at 33, 2, 1.